John chapter 8. There's this thing going around in our country called trash art. Trash art. What happens is these artisans will go into dumpsters and they'll go into street alleys and they'll go into places where things are thrown away because they're broke. Trash. They'll get into these dumpsters, they'll get into these alleys, they'll go into these places, salvage yards, and they'll find things that have been thrown out because they're useless. Somebody say useless. So they'll throw these things out because they can't be used anymore and they're broke and they can't be fixed. But what they do, these artisans will take these pieces, these broken things, and they'll pull them out of the yard, they'll pull them out of the garbage or pull them out onto the street corner or take them back to a studio and create this incredible art out of trash. Everybody say, You know where I'm going? Yeah. That's the gospel, isn't it? All you got to do is go to your hashtag on your socials, trash art, and you can follow this. And you see these artisans who will go into these areas of garbage and dumps, pull this stuff out, build these incredible pieces of art to show people that God can use anything, that God can do anything with anything. He doesn't need much. He's the creator. He doesn't need much. And he can take what is broken, and he can take what is useless, and he can take what is unfixable, something that is undesirable or not worthy. He can take that and make art out of it. Look at the person next to you and say, we are trash art. That's all we are. Because listen, we've ruined our life. We've thrown our life out. Listen, ain't nobody perfect in here. Hello? Ain't nobody perfect in here. Every one of us has been wrecked. Every one of us has been broke. Every one of us has been useless. Every single person in this room, myself, Taylor, this team included, every single one of us has been broke. Every single one of us have been useless at some point in our life. But hear me, that's when God does his greatest work. God doesn't need you to clean yourself up before you come here. God is very comfortable with you walking in like a wreck, a mess, chaos, drama, and turning it around for his good. Just read the scriptures from the beginning to the end. God took things that were broke, things that were useless, things that were thrown out. He turned them around and used it for his glory. And that's what happened in this story in John chapter 8. Look at this. You know it. You've heard it before. And everyone went to their own house. But Jesus went to the Mount of Olives. Now, early in the morning, he came again into the temple. All the people came to him, and he sat down and began to teach them. Then the scribes and the Pharisees brought to him a woman caught in adultery. And when they had set her in the midst, they said to him, Teacher, this woman was caught in adultery in the very act. Now, do you sense something going on, right? Right? Jesus is outside the temple. He's teaching. I don't know, maybe he was seated for a moment, and all these people are here. And then these men, Pharisees, they come in. They had found this woman having sex outside of marriage. They had paid a man to go in and seduce her, break into the home, pay him off. Where's the man in the story? Hello? Ain't something right about this. And so they bring her out. They throw her in the middle of this crowd of people while Jesus is talking. Right? And in the very act, it says they caught. That's awkward. Hello. Look what happens. Keep reading. Now Moses in the law commanded us that such a one like her Hello? Anybody ever said that to you? Oh, that's just, oh, no, you don't know their fam. No, they're that's just a freshman. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that, but anyway. Right? But what do you say? The law says we should stone such a one. This they said, verse 6, testing him that they might have something of which to accuse him. Look at this now. Look at this now. Stay with me. They were not just accusing the woman, they were accusing Jesus. You ever thought about that in the story? This was not just about the woman. They were willing to wreck a woman to wreck Jesus. But how many know Jesus don't play? Check it out. Watch this. But Jesus stooped down while they were speaking and began to write in the ground with his finger as though he did not hear them. Dude, don't you love him? So when they had continued asking him, he raised himself up and said to them, he who is without sin among you, let him be the first to throw a stone at her. And again he stooped back down and wrote on the ground. Then those who heard it, being convicted by their conscience, went out one by one, beginning with the oldest, even to the last. And Jesus was left alone, and the woman standing in the midst. When Jesus had raised himself up again and saw no one but the woman, he said to her, woman, where are your accusers? Has no one condemned you? She said, no one, Lord. What a powerful statement in itself. No one, Lord. And Jesus said to her, neither do I condemn you. Go. And what? He called it sin, didn't he? He called sex outside of marriage between a man and a woman, what? Sin. You've been caught in a room. You've been thrown down in front of the crowd tonight. Stay with me. Stay with me. When Jesus had raised himself up, there was no one there but the woman. And he said, woman, where are your accusers? My accusers are gone too, right? Has no one condemned you? And she said, no one, Lord. And Jesus said, then neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more. Then Jesus spoke to all of them and said to them, I am the light of the world. He who follows me shall not walk in darkness, but have the light of life. What a powerful story. Jesus is teaching. Bam, 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 throwing out these truths. They bring in this woman, pay the man off. He's gone. The woman's thrown down. And they say, in the law, we're supposed to, so what should we do? What do you say we do? And Jesus just goes, I don't know what he was doing, playing tic-tac-toe, playing like hangman. I don't know. I think what he was doing was drawing an arrow and pointing at that one over there going, that dude's cheating on his wife. Yeah, watch this. That one over there, he's cheating on his taxes. He ain't given to Caesar in 2 years. Hello? And they're like upset. They're like, hold it. Hey. We asked you a question. What, do you think he didn't hear it? We asked you a question. What should we, right? And so he's just like, okay, I tell you what. Whoever has not sinned, you throw first. He stoops down again, right? Looks over at Peter and goes, got him. Hello? Starts writing again, and all of a sudden you hear these rocks hit. Gone. And Jesus stands to see the woman there. It's just he and her, now this huge crowd, but no accusers. And Jesus says, where are your accusers? No one, Lord. Then go. But don't sin like this again. Don't do this sin again. And then he unleashes this last little bit of teaching. I don't know if he went and sat back down. All he said was, I'm the light of the world. This darkness, right? All of this, I've overcome this darkness. Let me tell you something. You want to reach your generation? You have to help solve its worst problem. Note takers, all you note takers who are going to heaven, wave them at me. Come on, wave the notes. All right, got them on the phone, got them on the book. Hear me. I truly believe if you're going to reach an entire generation, you have to solve its worst problem. I believe that the family is the number one problem in America. I believe that. The family is the number, it's not that, listen, don't blame the government, don't blame education, don't blame social media. Social media only revealed the problem, hello? But I believe the number one problem in your generation is sexuality. Y'all know, that's why I wrote the book. You think I woke up one day and said, I think I'm gonna write a book on sex. I think I'm gonna write a book on sexuality today and everyone's gonna love me. No. I wish I had the time to tell you the rest of my story, but I have a major ministry with LG+, with your friends, with trans, etc. I was born in San Francisco. Hello. And I live in Minneapolis, two of the most populated LG+ communities in America, outside of LA and New York City because of size. It's in my DNA to love, listen to me, everyone. And the church has done a poor job of loving harlots or loving those who have sinned sexually. And hear me, I'm not just talking about LG+. I'm talking about students in this room who are into pornography. What are we gonna do? Are we gonna treat somebody who's gay different while you walk around with your pornography problem? Tell me, I'm about to preach. Do not tell me to preach tonight. I ain't got enough time. We got to be done in minutes here. You understand? See, something ain't right. Something isn't right. Because we'll allow somebody who's gossiping on the worship team, hello, but we won't let somebody who's struggling with their identity walk into the room. You can go down to the other church with that rainbow out front. Excuse me? That is not kingdom. You do not have to behave to belong at this church. Hello? I mean, just look at the person next to you. They're struggling with that. Are we going to categorize sin or something here? And so Jesus takes this woman that should have been stoned. And I don't mean stoned, okay. I mean killed. They were going to kill her in front of everyone. But Jesus wasn't having it. So what he did is he leveled the ground, because that's what the cross does. The cross levels the playing field. There ain't no sin worse than another, better than another, or that another hasn't committed. I know what you're thinking. Well, I've never murdered. Have you thought it in your mind? Because Jesus expanded the 10 Commandments in the Sermon on the Mount and said, if you even think it, hello, listen, you are not defined by your past. You are defined by your future. Hello? You are not defined by your past. You are defined by your future. I don't choose you as my friend because all I'm concerned about is who you are now in your future. I choose you because of your past. I choose you with all of your blemishes. I choose you to be my friend because I'm broke too. And Jesus gives us the model of how to mend people by inclusion. Do you remember that one of the closest friends to Jesus and his family was a demoniac named Mary, filled with 7 demons? And she was delivered and became set free and became one of the closest family members to Christ. Inclusion. Hear me, if you want to reach your generation, you have to help solve its greatest problem. I want to give you a couple of principles here real quick, because then we're going to get into small groups and we have questions for you that we want you to get to. I'm going to pray for you in a minute, in a moment too, but let me just give you 2 simple points tonight. Number 1, trash art. That God takes your brokenness and makes something beautiful out of it. Old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new. Old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new. If you say you have no sin, you have deceived yourself. But if you confess your sin, he is faithful and just to forgive you of your sin and to cleanse you from all unrighteousness. 1 John 1, 8 and 9. If you say you have no sin, you have deceived yourself. But if you confess your sins, he is faithful and just to forgive you of your sins and to cleanse you from all unrighteousness. God is not concerned about your past. He's already embraced it. God put a huge plus in the middle of your life. We call it a cross. He put a huge plus in the middle of your life. And you can look at your life and say pre and post. Before and after. That's what he did for you. Old things, new things, dark, light. Hello? So when you come to the cross, you are not defined by your past. You are defined by your future. The cross is a plus for all of us. Let me give you the second point tonight. Have you ever heard of the magnum opus? The magnum opus. The second point is you are God's magnum opus. You may not feel like it, but you are the greatest work of the artist. You may not feel like it tonight, but you couldn't be more beautiful in the eyes of God. You may not feel like it tonight because you come from a broken home or a blended home, or you come from little wealth, or you live there, or you don't play sports, or you don't sing, or your grades aren't, or you were dumped or bullied. I don't care. It doesn't matter how you feel. What matters is how God feels about you. See, the magnum opus is the greatest work of the artist. Magnum, the greatest. Opus, operation, work. And when God made you, he made his best work. He put the stars into place, didn't he? He put the stars into place. He said to the ocean, stop, this far and no more. He carved out the Grand Canyon. He put these clouds in the sky, and rain came. And then he made animals, trees, middle schoolers. And he started doing his greatest work after all of that other stuff. And he said, I don't want to be alone. I can't talk to a tree. I can't be with a giraffe. The ocean doesn't speak back to me. Stars are beautiful, but I don't want to be alone. And so he breathed life into you and me. And he's been trying all of your life to get your attention. And he's just saying to you, I want to dance with you. I want to be with you. He's been knocking on the door of your heart all of your life, saying, let me in. Could we do life together? And you keep bringing up your past. And he keeps saying, I don't